Have y'all seen the movie Sinners? If not, I highly recommend you see this in theaters. Now, this movie centers around this kid named Sammy, who's the preacher boy, the son of a preacher, who's got this great gift and he could play the guitar. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is loosely based off a blues singer by the name of Robert Johnson who sold his soul to the devil. Yes, there's a real story about this. And the so-called myth is that he met the devil at the crossroad and that he tuned his guitar and gave him in exchange a great musical talent for him to sell his soul to the devil. And even if you think, oh, that's just a cool story, he even has a song that he wrote called Crossroad. If we even look deeper into the culture, it says that he's supposed to be a griot. Not sure if I said that correctly, but it's supposed to be an ancient Western African cultural music that is done to connect to our ancestors. So this kid back in this time, which is around the 30s, has a gift that the devil, or I'm sorry, the metaphor of the vampire, comes to find him to say, you and I will create the music industry, and that the devil or the vampire wants to use him or really his music to control the masses. Very powerful and metaphorical scene right there. Interesting that they use this character to play the lead vampire. Not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but I think that also the powerful scene is when they mention the Choctaw Native Americans who are looking for the vampire and are vampire hunters. I've looked this up and it actually turns out to be true that they really were looking for vampires. And when the Native Americans showed up to the door where the vampire let himself in, because once again, they can only get in unless you invite them, they basically said, oh, excuse me, is there a guy who you saw kind of burning up? Is he inside your house? And they were like, no, he's not inside your house. Get out of here. And then one of his friends said, oh, the sun's going down. We got to get up out of here. And he's like, okay, man, have a nice day. Jumped on his horse and got up out of there. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I have a strong intuition. If I saw somebody come to my door who was burning on fire first, and then second, a Native American comes to my door and says, is there someone in there? Oh, no? Okay, the sun's going down. Have a nice day. I'll be like, all right, man, you got to get up out of here, man. You got to get up out of here. I also love the part about the witch doctor, how she knows everything, who also has a relationship with one of the brothers. I mean, how great is it to have a woman by your side that knows this stuff? And speaking of women, Michael B. Jordan's girlfriend, played by Haley Steinfeld, I believe. She's a great actress in this, who also plays a woman who appears to be white, but also has black in her. And here's another subliminal message. Isn't it interesting that one of them has a red hat and the other one has a blue hat? I don't know. There's so many powerful scenes in this movie, but one of my favorite ones is when he gets back from the house on the nightmare and he sees his dad preaching at the church and he tells his father, I'm not gonna stay on this plantation. And he gets back in the car and he drives off. Man, that was one of the most powerful scenes I felt in the movie. The metaphors used in the messaging of this movie